Hey guys, Romanini Reaper here. So I just got done watching Maestro on Netflix. This is of course the new film from Bradley Cooper, his second as director, following on from A Star Is Born back in 2018. So yeah, look, there has been tons and tons of discussion about this, whether it be the awards conversation, because of course this has been nominated for 7 Oscars, including Best Picture, as well as some unwanted attention, namely for the whole Jew face controversy, the prosthetic chin and nose Bradley Cooper wore to make himself look more like Leonard Bernstein. But I was curious to check it out anyway, not least obviously to get caught up on all the Oscar nominees before the ceremony takes place in March. But is this a film worthy of its potential Oscars glory? Well, let's find out. So the film tells the story of Maestro Leonard Bernstein, and specifically his relationship with actress Felicia Montealegre. The two get married and have kids, but eventually cracks begin to form in their relationship as a rift forms between them, as Lenny destructively seeks to become one of the all-time great American composers, both, from a performer standpoint as a conductor, but also from a creative standpoint as a composer. And it is this desire for greatness which soon begins to take its toll on both him and on Felicia. So yeah, look, obviously this is getting a lot of awards buzz. It's been nominated for several Oscars, Best Picture, also Best Actor for Bradley Cooper. Let's be real, if he hadn't got a Best Actor nom, he probably would have killed himself, after all the shade he threw at Cillian Murphy. But it's also very interesting that involved with this film are two absolute legends of cinema, Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg. And yeah, I gotta say, this is a film definitely worthy of the involvement of two legends of the medium, and also is one that's solidifying Bradley Cooper as a very interesting director, and I'm really interested in seeing what he does next. Yeah, this is a very, very good film. Do I think this is gonna, rock the Oscars and just do a clean sweep? No. I really liked it though. I mean, for one, it is an immensely well-made film. Bradley Cooper's directing and all the technical craftsmanship on display here is just seriously on point. Like, I think the maestro of the title here could well be referring to Cooper, because obviously, as well as like directing and starring, and he also co-wrote the screenplay. And over the course of this film, there are several sequences of like unbelievable technical confidence, and the fact that this is only his second feature as director, really shows how much he's coming on in his craft. I mean, obviously we have some absolute powerhouse sequences of Bernstein, working on his craft, conducting these, orchestras and these like really thrilling, immensely magnetic sequences. And we also have some really great sequences outside of that, including a one take very early on, an unbroken take of Bernstein jumping onto a windowsill, onto the bed, doing an ass slap. Deeply unserious moment, I love it. And then running from the bedroom into the empty theater as he sees the greatness that awaits him. It's a brilliantly done sequence. In fact, it's a fantastically made film. And obviously, you've got cinematography from Matthew Libatique. Of course, cinematographer on peak cinema such as Venom. Also, interestingly enough, Darren Aronofsky's The Whale, which obviously worked really well with its 4:3 format, helping it all feel quite claustrophobic and boxed in. He uses a similar technique here, the 4x3, not to achieve the same effect, obviously, but rather to help communicate Cooper's vision and communicate a specific place and time. Obviously, it's there are some sequences in this 4x3 which are in black and white, and others which are in color. And these both do a fantastic job of communicating a period, as well as some, fantastic production and costume design. Of course, the contrast between the two periods is explored really well. Obviously we've got the past, which is obviously all the 4x3 stuff, but also there's like the present of Bernstein recounting all these events, which is in full screen, full color. But also, what does a really good job of exploring the contrast between these two is the music choices. Obviously, in the past, there's a score full of Bernstein's compositions, which works really well. But then in the present, you've got some very well placed needle drops, including Depeche Mode and a deeply unserious, on the nose REM needle drop that yeah, I just loved. It's so unserious, it's absolutely genius. And of course, I have to give major props to the hair and makeup department, which ironically is another one of the seven Oscars it's been nominated for. Because the makeup here is insanely impressive. Like obviously much has been made about the big nose, the stereotypical Jewish portrayal or something, I don't know. But actually you barely notice it in the film, and but as the film progresses, they do obviously as Bernstein gets older. Yeah, the makeup here is incredible. It does a really good job of aging Cooper up. It's fantastic. If there's one Oscar that I think it has a shot at, yeah, this is it. But obviously, where would this be without some fantastic performances? Obviously, Cooper himself is an absolute powerhouse as Bernstein. This is an incredibly magnetic portrayal of of a guy who's very much juggling the extroverted like performer persona and also his more introverted creative persona, and that sort of clash within himself. It's absolutely fantastic, especially as he gets more destructive in his strive for greatness. It is a brilliant performance. Obviously, he spent 6 years learning to authentically do one brief moment, and I gotta say all the work he put in has paid off wonderfully. There are also some kind of moments I pick up little hints of Rocket Raccoon voice, which is kind of hilarious, but it didn't detract from my enjoyment of the film or of Cooper's performance. And he's paired up really nicely with Carrie Mulligan as his wife Felicia. And yeah, Mulligan is incredible with this like deeply like simmering sorrow within her as a this like growing rift builds in her relationship with Bernstein. And yeah, the scenes with them together early on are wonderful. There's some humor, they're plenty charming, but also as the film builds, their relationship gets more tragic. And also you've got, Felicia sort of the, as a bystander of her husband who's, having affairs with like both men and women who and he's struggling as being a gay man in the public eye. And yeah, Mulligan does a fantastic job with that. Growing like sorrow and pain within her. It's yeah, she's fantastic. They're obviously joined by a very strong supporting cast, including Matt Bomer and Maya Hawke. But yeah, it is very much Cooper and Mulligan's show. That these two are the beating heart of the film, and they absolutely excel. Now, admittedly, I feel like sort of the film's exploration of Bernstein as a composer feels, I don't know, I could have done with a bit more of a thorough exploration because, like, what we get feels more of a broad outline of his career rather than, a full fledged, proper examination of it. And don't get me wrong, the film very much has its focus, on his relationship, but I would have liked a bit more of exploring his career. And I also feel like there are some slight pacing issues at points. Some moments do feel kind of slow, but by and large, it does keep up a very good pace, and it is very engaging to watch throughout. And yeah, overall, Maestro really enjoyed it. Gonna give it an 8 out of 10. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. Have you seen Maestro? What did you think of it? What did you make of Cooper and Mulligan's performances? And what of the 7 Oscars it's been nominated for do you think it has a shot at? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget the subscribe button if you're new. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.